Now that we've sorted out the fuel tank and got it ready, we need to get that sanded out. So we're going to sand it down and we're going to get it ready for the actual paint to go on. So let's look at preparation stage for the fuel tank, and we'll have a look at spray after that.
We have got to a spot where we actually have all the paint stripped off the tank and we are preparing for the next stage. How this basically works is you want to get this as clean as possible. Think about the preparation stage as the key point. How to spray your own motorcycle tank DIY at home with normal spray cans. So once you prep the tank, you actually get to a point where everything has been stripped off. You want to get it nice and smooth. Use a lot of different grit sandpapers. So I've got a selection of sandpapers here and I'm working my way up. So I started at 200, I went to 400, then 800, and then slowly progressed through that to make it as smooth as possible. The key thing here is you want to get it, when you feel the tank with your hand, you want it to be really smooth. If there's any high spots or low spots, we need to consider getting some filler and filling those up. So you'll see a separate episode when I come along to that stage, because I did find some low spots on the tank which needed filling out. I want the tank to be as nice as possible, so I will be following all the steps of making sure the preparation is done as high a standard as possible and the tank is as clean as possible. I washed the tank with sugar soap mixture, which kind of acts like a degreaser. You mix it up with warm water and you can wipe the tank clean. I will be using some wipes as well before we actually get to the spraying section, but the main key thing right now is cleaning as much of the tank as possible in all those nuts and crannies and getting a good surface for the paint and the spray to adhere to. So working through this, you will see that there will be different elements of the project that need attention. So once you get to a point, you can actually use wire brushes. I use sandpaper, but then there are brass tip wire brushes. I might put a link in the description to the video where I talk about all the things I had to buy to work on this motorcycle, because there's quite a number of things you'll need. So if you are planning this, if you order everything in advance, it will actually save you a bit of time. So you'll have everything you need for each stage. Whereas I kind of got to a point where I was doing a bit of work. I discovered actually, you know what, I might find a better tool for this, ordering it and then waiting for it to come. In some cases, things like the auxiliary fuel tank, I ended up making my own because it was quicker than waiting for Amazon to deliver. But in other cases, getting these little steel brushes that were nice and easy to fit, like little toothbrushes, but with better quality bristles, and they worked very well to get around the rim. So the preparation stage here, we're making it as clean and smooth as possible. I'll speed some of this up so you can actually see this in process. You'll notice the video I did before where I stripped the paint away. That took a good amount of days. You actually took a lot of time to get that, probably 25 hours I think in total, like on and off different days, leaving it to do its thing. But that did save me time. If I had to sand it, I think it may have taken a bit longer and it would be bit more messy. So working through the process here, as you get through the tank, and make sure if there's any sections that need work, fill them up, which you'll see a separate video, I'll explain that. And get around all the bits, wipe it off and wash it if you need to get rid of any soot off that tank, and that'll get you in a preparation stage for your next section. So high coat paint is what we will be using. It's a spray can setup and I've got a full selection of them, so thank you to High Coat. And we will be actually using the undercoat, the primer, the edge primer, the overcoat and petrol fuel resistant lacquer. So all of that will be used. I'll show you more about that as we get through it. And the main thing here is I want to use it and see how it does over time. So a lot of these things, you'll see like a quick video of people using this stuff. But I want to see like 3-4 months down the line, once I use the bike, what it feels like. When you come to sandpapers, you want to get a nice selection of sandpapers. Get a selection of wet and dry, which actually means they are able to be used when you use water with it. And water stops the dust going into the air. Where possible, wear a face mask so you don't get any of this into your nose and your system. And when you're using these, actually use a well ventilated area. And the sandpaper I used was a 3M branded one, but it doesn't have to be. You can use the non-branded type as well. So like standard sandpapers, they work as well. And with the paint, you want to get a nice selection of paint. If possible, stick to the same brand when you're using it. I did use High Coat for my edge primer. I used High Coat for my grey primer, which I want to fill any blemishes. I've got the double acrylic Honda Electron Blue color. I like this over the standard color that this bike came in. It's very close, so it should be fine. We're going to use a nice top coat, clear coat, which is fuel resistant. So all of that will work nicely. Make sure you got enough. If in doubt, order double that amount you need. In my case, I had Edge primer, 400 milliliter bottle. I've got 2 grey primers. I've got 3 color coats, and then the final 400 milliliter of clear primer on top, the fuel resistant type. I've got some body filler. I've got everything I need. I will put a description I'll put information in the description, so check that out so you can see everything there.
If you're enjoying this series, make sure to subscribe so you actually get notifications directly to your phone each time I load a new episode. I've got loads of videos planned for this bike when we get it back on the road, so it'd be good to have you along on the journey with me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video right here.